All right, good morning, tribe. The donut shop at the beginning of the world is open. Let's have some coffee. Whew, hot. Yum, 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 yum. And a big chirpy greeting from Chirpy, the chirpiest chirp in the world, as far as I can tell. What was that? Okay. Apparently, our neighborhood has become a haven for street racers. Hey, good morning, Charles. How are you today? Oh, man. Hey, good morning, Jennifer. I need like a little bell that dings every time someone shows up. That'd be kind of cool. Like they have on the doors. Wow, it's... I got trains, I got Chirpy, I got street racers. It's a loud, loud morning. But I got coffee. It's Friday. So you know what? Life is good. Good morning, Cleo. Oh, and just a reminder. So what am I going to see? This morning we'll be drawing the name for the either the two bandanas or the book. So cool. Yes, Friday dance. Happy dance of joy. What was it? Happy. Yeah, happy dance of joy. Something like that. I don't know if you remember the show. Was it Perfect Strangers? Wow, that was a long time ago. It was like early 80s. Hey, good morning, Evie. Good morning, Tiffany. Oh, cool, Charles. You can put a router together. Routers are neat. It's on my eventual list. I don't have enough need for a router yet to get a router. Usually, I make do with a Dremel tool and this Dremel tool press and things like that. Hey, good morning, Eileen. Hey, Charles. I'm caffeinated. I talked to Mom again last night. She wasn't doing so well, but I think at this point the question is how poorly is she doing rather than how well. So we're still trying to get the biopsy scheduled and go from there. Hey, Surrender. Yep, ball. Usually, bulky. Yes, bulky. I really liked the show Perfect Strangers. I mean, the two played off each other so perfectly. I thought, Surrender, you were saying ball like with your dogs, and suddenly the man-made equivalent of a squirrel. Hey, good morning, Kathleen. Oh. So if you go to yesterday's donut shop at the beginning of the world, you will, and if you scroll through the comments, you will see Kathleen modeling the T-shirt and the baby doll type thing, and the cup, the Foraging Texas with the Foraging Texas logo stuff on it. So check that out. Hey, good morning, Chris. She makes my stuff look good, so that's cool. Hey, good morning, Sherry. Thank you, Chris. It's a lot of prayers going on. So believe it or not, my mom and dad had a tendency to collect strays. And what I mean strays, I mean the neighborhood kids that had a less than stellar home life. And so a lot of them would just end up spending a lot of their time at our place. And so we joke, mom and dad have, 3 biological kids and like 12 adopted kids. And I've been reaching out to all these, the kids that used to hang out for days at a time at our place, and just, hey, go check with my mom. She'd love to hear from you. Okay, Wade, actually, so we're doing the drawing this morning. Yeah, so there's that. So the deadline was like a minute ago before doing the thing here. Okay. So all right. Evie and Wade. So over on Foraging Texas, let me put the link here. Dub. Actually, you don't even need the dub anymore. Foraging Texas.com. So in that, at the top, there is a donate to Foraging Texas blurb, and there's a PayPal link there. And so If you donated $10 or more, or $5 or more, if you donated anything to Foraging Texas, you were put in a drawing for either the free book or 2 of the Wazoo foraging bandanas. But the event or the drawing is going to take place here in a few minutes. So it's I had mentioned that a number of times through the show. I guess. Oh well. Yeah. My parents, they're good people. I like them. I have high respect for them. But yeah, there were a lot of kids that would hang out at our place just because it was like a safe place, and there was always graham crackers and milk and usually cookies. Mom's great oatmeal and chocolate chip cookies, oatmeal crispies, and occasionally homemade O. Henry bars, which are really awesome. Hey, good morning, Kimberlyn. Hey, good morning, Sherry. Oh wow, from Orlando. Wow. Yeah, they're good people. That's they like helping people, and you might see that it kind of rubbed off a little on their kids. We'll see. Hey, good morning, John Mark. So, but yeah, everyone's praying for them. There's Mom was complaining how all her, her friends her age, a lot of them have passed away, and it's like, well, but you got all these kids, and actually most of them still live in the area. It's just how people get busy and everything and drift away. But we'll see. Trying to get them back together for a big hoorah. Hoorah. That's a good word. Hoorah. Sorry, squirrel. Okay. So we're going to do the drawing at 7:45 because everyone is usually here by then. Hey, good morning, Donna. That gives me time to drink some coffee. It's a little humid out this morning, I guess. But then again, it's supposed to rain starting Sunday. Storms are supposed to move in, so that would much necessary. My yard is looking pretty droopy right now. Wow. And I'm just like looking around and noticing just how droopy things are. And I might have to get the hose out here. Thank you, Eileen. Yeah. So I'm worried about both. I wonder if Dad is here this morning. Hey, Dad, if you're here, say hi. Hey, Mom, if you're here, say hi. Because they've been married for 50 some years. I'm not sure what Dad would do. Anyway, yeah, the rain will be very welcome. I need it. And from at least the earlier weather reports earlier this week, it looked like we were supposed to get some really good days of rain. What was that? Sorry. This neighborhood has the weirdest collection of sounds. Oh, squirrel. Squirrel. Squirrel being attacked by Chirpy. Apparently, Chirpy does not like squirrels. Go, Chirpy. I do not like squirrels either. Well, I like them in gravy and biscuits, but wow, that was. I have never seen a mockingbird attack a squirrel. Wow, Chirpy is really upset about the squirrel. Okay. I'm sorry. Welcome to the donut shop at the beginning of the world. Oh, there's Chirpy going on his or her patrol. It seems like Chirpy has a selection of branches that are his, hers, its. Not just in my yard, but other places. It's like I've really been learning about mockingbirds, and they're somewhat territorial. Can you say add? Hey, good morning, Chris. Oop, oop. Oh, ADD. Okay. I was going like, Jennifer, is my Minnesota accent showing up when I say add? Oh, but then yeah, ADD. Oh yeah, Chirpy might be a new mommy. I'm hoping that would explain the squirrel vicious response against the squirrel. But it was kind of neat. So I'm used to we had a cat growing up, Kit, because hey, good morning, Serenity. Okay, so back up. In the backyard, we had several purple martin houses, the little single bird houses along our fence. And our cat, Kit, would sit on top of the birdhouses just waiting. And she would get swooped. The purple martins would be swooping down at her and stuff. And she'd be sitting there just ignoring them, waiting for one to get close enough. I don't think she ever got a purple martin, but she was very dedicated to the cause. It was kind of almost like a roadrunner and coyote sort of thing. But she would spend, like half the summer sitting on top of the purple martin birdhouse, trying to get a bird. And then whenever she was in the backyard, the purple martins would be swooping at her. So it was kind of entertaining. Charles, squirrels and rabbits are hell in gardens, yards, wirings, belongings. Yes. I wonder if Sarah Paul is here this morning. She has an affinity for squirrels. She raises like squirrels that have lost their parents and so forth. So her backyard is filled with these really, mostly domesticated squirrels that will climb all over her and eat peanuts from her hand and then dig up her garden and chew up stuff. And yeah, so it's like a love-hate sort of thing. She loves them when they're being cute and hates them when they're destroying her property. I guess that's the way with a lot of things. Good morning, Sherry. Yeah, we're still pretty much the same old, random whatever that comes across my mind and the minds of others sort of thing. I kind of think the donut shop at the beginning of the world is almost interchangeable and when you watch it. Hey, good morning, Deborah. Cool. I need to spend like 3 minutes Googling mockingbirds, and I'm assuming there is a physical difference between the male and the female, like there is with most birds, and just try and see which is Chirpy. Oh wow, Sherry, you had to take a hummingbird feeder down because the cat would bring me those ones that she caught a gift. So this is interesting. At least one school of thought out there is that to cats, we are giant, clumsy, useless kittens. And so when it is bringing us like, a lizard or a squirrel or a hummingbird or whatever it caught, it's saying, okay, you haven't eaten in a while. You must be hungry here because from what I can tell, you suck as a hunter. And so here's some food so you don't die. So sorry, mosquito. I don't know how true that is. It sounds good. It sounds like the sort of attitude a cat would have. It's like, just begrudgingly, trying to keep you alive. Occasionally you rub my belly until I claw you, things like that. But who knows? It's funny. My boss, so I work at his place. I'll be working at his place this afternoon. His wife and kids are out of town. And so the pets, maybe I mentioned this, the pets are just desperate for attention. So as soon as I get there, the dog and the cat are both trying to get into my lap, which is kind of amusing, and that's good. I miss having a cat. We had some really good cats. I told you about Oz, the cat that convinced me that adoption was okay, things like that. So yeah, as much as cats hate us and want to see us dead, at the same time, they realize there's some benefit to keeping us alive. So we'll see. Good coffee this morning. Sorry, there's mosquitoes here, so I'm scratching my ankles. What else we got going on, tribe? Someone give me a topic. First topic that comes up that's socially acceptable or even somewhat socially acceptable. I forget, is Kathleen here? Actually, that brings up a really good thing. So if you've been watching the numbers of the COVID-19, it is back hard and heavy in the urban areas of Texas. So it's really, really a good idea if you're going out in public, to go with the mask, just to keep things a little less dangerous. So remember, a large part of how badly you are hit by an infection has to do with how much of the infectious agent enters your body at the time. So if just a little bit gets in, your body can usually fight it and overwhelm it. If a huge amount gets in, then you run into problems. So the masks, even in a viral rich environment, will help reduce the overall number that you get in there. Okay, so here's an interesting one. So whoop. Sorry, Charles, I gotta jump up one. So Sherry Watson, CBD. I will admit I don't know a whole lot about CBD. I've been learning more and more about it, mainly with my work with Uncommon Bees. They're a big proponent of it. The interesting things about it, so the cannabinoid, cannabinoid molecules, compounds are actually kind of interesting in how they different from the THC. There's like an open ring versus a closed ring chemistry. But the fact that the humans actually have a cannabinoid system, we are genetically programmed to respond to the CBD type molecules. That's pretty cool. So I think it's a good indication that there is definitely something going on, some sort of co-evolution that brought us benefit. The other thing that I thought was really interesting is at least one other plant, the echinacea, also has the CBD or cannabinoids in it. Now, as far as what these cannabinoids do in the body, the only research, the only research out there that really is scientifically supported, or the only data, is the pain relieving properties of the CBD. Now, there are people that claims, it cures everything from lupus to cancer to who knows what. There's not enough data out there yet to make those claims. As a scientist, there's anecdotal evidence, but if you look hard enough, you can find anecdotal evidence for pretty much damn near anything. So I think the CBD has a lot of therapeutic potential. What these actual powers are still needs to be elucidated, but there's a lot of research going on in it, so that's cool. Okay. Woodworking. So woodworking, I don't know. I'm a cut once, cut again, cut a third time, run back to Home Depot, come home, cut again, got it. I will say Dremel tools. If you do not have a Dremel tool, and if you don't know what a Dremel tool is, look it up on Amazon. But a Dremel tool, it's a the dentist drill where you got the little handheld, really high speed drill. So it's like that, but it has all sorts of interchangeable parts. And probably the thing I use more, the tool I use the most of in the house is probably the Dremel tool. Because depending on the parts, you're drilling, you're grinding, you're shaping, you're shaving, you're polishing, you're sharpening. You're hiding damage that you did with another tool. Very, very useful. They have a drywall cutting part to it. So if you want to put secret compartments in your house, it's really good for that. But yeah, as far as woodworking goes, also, actually, I'm looking for someone to maybe make some knife handle, or the knife handle blades, the scales of my Bowie knife, but that's another thing. Okay, wait, there's a couple of things here. First, I want to answer Sandra. No, I still have not done the ball moss experiment. I'm dying to do it. It's on my list, and then like medicine man stuff or family stuff or something like that comes up, and so it knocks it down. But I got the bowl of ball moss sitting there, just hanging out in the kitchen, waiting for me, and hopefully I won't get to it tonight. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday, but I really need to do that. Okay. And then Chris, let me get to that in a second, but first, bum bum bum. Okay, so it's set. Whoop. Oh, that's a leaf. Okay, it's 7:45. I have the names of everyone who's donated in here, so I'm going to mix them up. And let's see who's going to get the copy of the book. Or I guess I can. Okay, empty hand. Oh, I got two here. All right. So, Cynthia Waits. I'm going to be reaching out to you. Cynthia Waits. I'm going to be reaching out to you to get a mailing address, and then let me find out if you want the 2 bandanas or the book. Okay, Chris. Things that help your immune system. That's a really good topic. We might end up here for the rest of the morning. There are multiple ways. Well, so let's talk about your immune system first. And before I do that, let me have some coffee. Okay, so how the immune system works is you have these scouts cruising around in your body, just checking things out, making sure everything present is supposed to be there. And then when they find something that isn't supposed to be there, they basically glom onto it and release a chemical signal that then goes back and alerts the rest of the immune system, hey, send some warriors here to destroy this thing I've grabbed onto. And then these white blood cells come in, blah, 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 eat it all up and destroy it. While it's doing that, there are some other observer cells that are just monitoring the system. It's like a whole military expedition. You got the soldiers, you got the scouts, you got the commanders. They're all working together to try and get rid of the invader, and at the same time not start just killing things willy-nilly. Very, very simplified model, but it's a multi-component system. These different the watchman, the scout, the commanders, and the warriors are talking to each other, talking through chemical signals and all this to we need more, we need less, head here, that sort of thing. Okay, so now with the immune system strengtheners, there's a number of different ways they can work. Some will help the body make more of these scouts to go looking around. One of the main things, though, like the echinacea and the elderberry, is they have things that speed up the response. So when the scout has glommed onto something and it sends a signal to the immune system, instead of a little trickle of the warriors coming out, it's like, thousands come. So it speeds up the response time and increases the number of troops coming in to attack the enemy. Elderberry, in addition to that, also has some powers, and I'm not quite sure of the mechanism. Sorry, I got an almond stuck in my tooth. But somehow there are compounds in the elderberry that block viruses from getting into cells and infecting them. So I don't know if the elderberry gloms on to the virus, the proteins that the virus used to attach to the surface of the cell to then inject the viral DNA into the cell and hijack the machinery, or if they do something else. Just an example of another mechanism, the hydroxyquinone that has been in the news a lot. So a lot of viruses, when they enter, they enter into a very specific organelle. If you remember your cell, the high school biology, it has different organs that are doing different things inside the cell. And a number of viruses enter through these I can't remember the name. Basically, think of it as a little cellular stomach or an airlock. Probably an airlock. So the cell is designed for certain things, food and so forth, to get in there, and the cell can do things, and chemicals, and the hormones and all the signatures, signal molecules. So the cells have a system to bring things into them, and a lot of time that system is what gets hijacked by the virus. So the virus kind of bootlegs itself in through that cellular airlock. So the hydroxyquinone, the interior of that airlock. So we have okay. If you imagine my open mouth, I'm the cell, and then we have this airlock that sits there and lets things in to the rest of the cell. Okay, so this airlock has a very specific pH, a very specific acid concentration. And it's just one of the things that evolved. So the hydroxyquinone, what it does is it actually increases or decreases, makes it more acidic, makes that airlock slightly more acidic, not so acidic that it's bad for people, but it is acidic enough where then when the viral particles in particular get in there, it disrupts them. So that's kind of cool. So not sure, they're still trying to figure out how the elderberry blocks the viral infection. We already know pretty much how it triggers the advanced, the release of more soldiers. But there's also a lot of proof that it actually somehow there's a mechanism that blocks viruses from infecting cells to begin with, which is really awesome, because if you stop the infection at the beginning, you're that much better. That's one of the things, like with elderberry, I'm huge. I take elderberry every day, especially right now, just to prep myself, to make myself that much more disease resistance. Where was I going? Yeah, so especially now with the COVID-19 and so forth. I mean, I got elderberry in my coffee right now. But sun, no sun. Sun, no sun. Some of that elderberry syrup I made in the show 2 weeks ago. I got in there. It's really good. So yeah, the main immune system things, that's what they're doing. They're somehow affecting the overall immune system response so that it speeds up or it responds more vigorously. Now, the warrior cells that are coming in and destroying the infection, if you get too many of them, or if they go out of control, they'll start attacking your own good cells, your body's own cells. And that's like the different autoimmune diseases, the lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. It's where the immune system lost, it's like in a berserk mode. It's just killing everything in sight. And so you actually have, those commanders that I mentioned, the generals that are telling the white blood cells, normally their job is to say, whoa, dudes, slow down, back up. Okay, let's go back to the base here. But sometimes they break down and don't do their job, and then everything goes crazy. So along with the echinacea and elderberry and healsall, there's also a number of plants that are known as immunomodulators. And they're interesting because what they do is they basically replace the job of those generals. And if the immune system needs to be bumped up a little, it'll help it bump it up. But at the same time, if the immune system is maybe being a little too active, it kind of drops it down some. So that's really fascinating, that there's been some sort of benefit, that even these things exist, that there are compounds in plants that help our immune system balance out to the level it needs to be. That's why, they say most scientists start out kind of as atheists, and the deeper they get into things, they start going, okay, there is design here. There is something behind the scenes that made all this stuff. Vacuoles, yes, thank you, Rebecca. Vacuoles, they're the airlocks that help things get in and out. Okay, wow, okay, there was lots of questions here while I was talking. Okay, yay, people are happy for Cynthia. Yay, Cynthia. Okay, hey, Julie. Sherry, the amount of elderberry that needs to be consumed, like if you were just taking like some berries or the flowers, the amount is actually around a gram. It's not much. That's what's so fascinating. The plants are so rich in these compounds, and your body doesn't need much of it. So to really be effective, that's cool. Oh, here we go. Let me just jump this up. Sherry Watson, heard a rumor that tonic water is helpful. Thoughts? Okay, tonic water has quinine in it, and a lot of people don't understand chemistry and think hydroxyquinine and quinine are the same molecule, and they're not. Hydroxyquinine is made from quinine, but there's a whole bunch of extra shrubbery stuck onto it. And I haven't found any studies that show quinine by itself does much against the coronavirus. It's great against malaria, not so good against the coronavirus. Remember, malaria is a bacterial infection, and what quinine does, it's really cool. So the malaria eats red blood cells. That's what it's doing. It's going in there and it's destroying your red blood cells. It's like its diet is red blood cells. The quinine gets in there and screws up the enzymes that the malaria uses to digest the red blood cells. So it doesn't get any energy, any power from the red blood cells, and then it dies. So that's kind of cool. That's another thing, like this bark of this tree screws up malaria. Is one of the biggest killers in mankind's history. Still a big problem in Africa and places like that. But just this chemical from the bark of a tree basically starves quinine or starves the malaria bacteria to death. All right. So Brent, here's a good question. You can spread it out or you can take it all at once. I have to be careful what I say as far as Medicine Man Plant Company, but we're coming out with the immune pill. That's the first thing that's coming out. I can't make any medical claims, but it does have the elderberry, echinacea, cordyceps, and heals all in it. All these things help with the immune system, supposedly. The FDA, there's all sorts of FDA warnings. I don't want to get in trouble. You'd have to go to our website, which should be up and running next week, and it talks about all that there. Ooh, 7:58. Let's see here. Okay, yes, Kimberly. So the one thing about like elderberry and echinacea and a bunch of these immune stimulant things, if you are on immunosuppressants for some reason, like against fighting an autoimmune disease, or if you had some sort of organ transplant and you need to suppress the immune system so it does not attack the donor kidney, the elderberry and all these things will actually counteract that, and suddenly you're going to have all the effects of a properly functioning immune system. It will counteract the immunosuppressant, and you're going to end up attacking your new kidney or yourself. So if you, for some reason, you are on an immunosuppressant, you do not want to take any like the immune pill or any other immune system stimulant, because it's just going to counteract the immunodepressant sort of thing. So that sucks. Okay, quick other thing here, Curtis. Any form, the fresh flowers have the highest concentration of medicinal properties, and then the dried flowers and the dried berries have the same amount of medicinal, slightly lower. So fresh flowers, dried flowers, and dried berries. You do not want to take fresh berries because fresh berries have cyanide in them that is bad for you. So you have to let them dry or cook or dehydrate. During the drying, cooking, dehydrating process, fermenting, if you want to make wine, that cyanide will go away. But yeah. Okay. It's 8 o'clock. I see there's a whole bunch. Oh, yes. Happy Juneteenth. Yay, Juneteenth. It's kind of scary. Nowadays it takes seconds for news to get around the world. But if you remember, after the Civil War, it took 2 years for the announcements for the slaves here in Texas that they were free. And the news came on June 19th, which is today. So happy Juneteenth. Okay, tribe. Like I said, I got to run. Lots going on today. thank you very much for spending your morning with you. Thank you very much for your prayers for my mom. And then Cynthia, Cynthia, I will be in contact to find out what you want and how you want it there. Great weekend, and then I'll see you all Monday. All right. Adios. Love you all. And end broadcast and drink coffee.